There's a missile in the American arsenal that has no explosive warhead. Zero. No detonation. Instead, when it hits, 6 steel blades extend from the body. It kills with kinetic energy and swords. The Pentagon won't show you a picture of it. They've never officially announced it exists. But it killed the leader of Al-Qaeda on a balcony in Kabul. His family, 10 meters away, lived. It's called the R9X, and it's only one of 7 American weapons that exists somewhere between rumor, leaked budget line, and confirmed dead body. Today, all of them. The Mach 4 demonstrator that vanished from the public record. The 1,000-unit nuclear fleet America is quietly building right now. The hypersonic platform designed to carry whatever you bolt onto it. And the flying Jinsu. Truth in steel. Let's go. Quick framing. We're not talking about every classified weapon in America's inventory. That list runs into the thousands. We're talking about the missiles whose existence the Department of Defense has either denied, refused to confirm, or quietly buried in a black budget line nobody bothered to read. Here's how we know about them anyway. 3 ways. 1. A budget number appears and then disappears between fiscal years. Somebody forgot to redact a program code. 2. A test happens. A journalist with the right Pentagon source confirms it months later. 3. A corpse shows up with injuries that don't match any known weapon. The analysts work backwards from the physics. That third one, that's how we got the R9X. Bodies cut into pieces from above, with no burns and no shrapnel. 6 clean cuts. Geometry that only one weapon can produce. 7 programs, oldest, slowest, weirdest first. Each one tells you something about how America actually thinks about killing people. The last one is going to make you uncomfortable. First, a Mach 4 missile demonstrator that flew and then vanished from the public record. RATTLRS, Revolutionary Approach to Time-Critical Long-Range Strike, a joint program between the Office of Naval Research, DARPA, and Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, budget $240 million on paper. The real number was bigger. The goal was a tactical cruise missile, Mach 4 plus speed, range about 1,100 kilometers, small enough to fit on an F-35 in a submarine launch tube or on a surface ship. The engine was the YJ-102R, a turbine-based combined cycle ramjet. Rolls-Royce North America built the base turbine. Skunk Works integrated a scramjet bypass system that took the missile from subsonic launch all the way to Mach 4 in less than a minute. Several flight tests at White Sands, 2007 through 2009. Test results, all of them, are still classified. Lockheed Martin will not comment. Here's the strange part. The shape of RATTLRS, the fuselage angles, the engine inlet geometry, they all show up again 4 years later in concept renders of the SR-72, Skunk Works' hypothetical replacement for the Blackbird spy plane. Lockheed doesn't officially acknowledge any connection between the two programs. RATTLRS didn't get canceled. It just stopped existing on paper. Whatever it became is flying somewhere we can't see. Second, the nuclear cruise missile America is building right now. Almost nobody talks about it. AGM-181, long-range standoff weapon. LRSO, the replacement for the AGM-86B air-launched cruise missile that has been hanging under B-52s since 1981. The current one is older than most of the pilots flying it. Raytheon won the contract in 2021, $2 billion for development alone, total program estimated at $10 to $13 billion. Up to 1,000 missiles planned. The warhead is the W-84, variable yield, 5 to 150 kilotons. One missile, dialed up or down at the launch console. Tactical nuke at one setting, a city killer at another. Carrier aircraft, the B-52H currently, the B-21 Raider when it enters service, hidden bay, low observable airframe. Range is classified. Public estimates put it past 2,500 kilometers, further than any air-launched cruise missile in history. In 2018, the Obama administration tried to cancel the program as part of a broader nuclear modernization review. The Trump administration restored it in the first month back in office. The fuselage diameter of the missile wasn't published until 2021. Compare that to a Trident or a Tomahawk. The basic dimensions of America's other strategic weapons have been public for decades. America is quietly building a fleet of 1,000 nuclear cruise missiles. You won't see them on the news. Third, a stealth cruise missile that appeared in the Pentagon's budget for 1 year and then disappeared. The base weapon is the AGM-158, JASSM Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile. Built by Lockheed Martin, operational since 2009, the extended-range variant JASSM-XR flies 1,000 kilometers, carries a 450-kilogram conventional warhead, and is the standard standoff weapon under the wings of F-15s, F-16s, B-1s, and B-52s. In the fiscal year 2022 Air Force budget request, a new line item appeared, JASSM-XR, Extreme Range $50 million in research and development funding. Open source analysts estimated the range at 1,900 kilometers, almost double the ER variant, 1,200 miles of stealth-shaped cruise missile. 4 months later, the line item was gone. No statement, no press release, no cancellation announcement. Just removed from the next quarterly budget update. Several defense news articles in 2024 mentioned a JASSM Extreme Range variant currently in low-rate initial production. Lockheed Martin neither confirms nor denies. Here's why this matters. A 1,900-kilometer range stealth cruise missile under the wing of an F-15EX based in Guam can reach Shanghai. From a fighter jet that doesn't need a tanker, that changes deterrence math in the Pacific without anyone announcing it. If you can put a Shanghai range cruise missile on a fighter jet and pretend the program doesn't exist, you've changed everything about how wars get fought, and you've told nobody. Quick question. Of the first three, RATTLRS that vanished, LRSO that's being built by the thousand, or JASSM-XR that lives in the budget for 1 year, which one bothers you the most? Drop a number below, there's no right answer. Fourth, the hypersonic missile that succeeded, and then the Pentagon stopped talking about it. HAWC hypersonic air-breathing weapon concept, a joint DARPA and Air Force program. 2 parallel contracts. One went to Raytheon and Northrop Grumman, the other to Lockheed Martin and Aerojet Rocketdyne. Both teams building the same thing, a Mach 5 plus scramjet missile, air-launched, roughly the size of a Tomahawk. The difference between HAWC and the boost glide hypersonics, like Dark Eagle, is fundamental. Boost glide weapons use a rocket booster to throw a glide vehicle to speed. The glider then coasts to target. HAWC is air-breathing. The scramjet itself produces thrust all the way to impact. Less fuel, more payload, longer range. First successful flight, September 2021, Raytheon Northrop team. The test was kept classified for 6 weeks before the Pentagon announced it. Second success, March 2022, Lockheed Aerojet team. A flight longer than 5 minutes at over Mach 5. Telemetry returned. Engine ran cleanly the entire mission. Then, in 2023, all public reporting on HAWC stopped. Not canceled. Not officially concluded. Just gone. The official story is that HAWC transitioned, its data and learnings handed off to a follow-on program. We'll get to that program in 2 minutes. HAWC didn't fail. It succeeded so well that the next step had to disappear under a heavier security blanket. 3 programs left. The next one is the most classified hypersonic America is building, and it's designed to carry whatever the Air Force decides next. Fifth, a hypersonic platform, not a missile. A delivery system designed to carry whatever the Air Force decides next. MAYHE. Multi-mission cruise missile, Air Force Research Laboratory with Leidos as prime contractor. $334 million, Phase 1 awarded in 2022. Total program estimates run between $1 and $2 billion. What makes MAYHEM different is the payload bay. Most missiles are built around one warhead. The warhead is the point. The airframe is just the delivery shell. MAYHEM is the opposite. The airframe is the point. The bay is modular. 4 payload classes designed to swap in and out. Kinetic impactor, sensor probe, electronic warfare suite, and a submunition dispenser. The Air Force claims a 1-hour swap window in the field. 1 missile, 4 different mission profiles, decided by the loadout team that morning. The propulsion comes straight out of HAWC, same scramjet architecture, same Mach 5 plus capability. The engine inheritance is one of the few things both programs share in unclassified documents. Here's a detail worth pausing on. Leidos is the prime contractor. Leidos is not a traditional aerospace prime. It's a software and IT services company that lives on government contracts. What they're doing leading a hypersonic missile program? That's a question the Pentagon won't answer. In the 2025 Air Force budget, MAYHEM appears in a line about future mass production planning. Most hypersonic programs have been about demonstrators. MAYHEM is about production runs. The Pentagon doesn't want one MAYHEM. It wants hundreds. Sixth, the operational hypersonic America is finally going to deploy. Almost no one knows when HACM, hypersonic attack cruise missile. The follow-on to HACM Air Force contract to Raytheon, September 2022, over $1 billion in initial funding. Same air-breathing scramjet architecture as HACM, same Mach 5 plus speed, range publicly estimated at 1,500 kilometers, but the real number is classified. What makes HACM the first of its kind is this. America already has hypersonic weapons in development. Dark Eagle, the LRHW, the AGM-183, ARRW that got canceled. Those are all boost glide. Rocket to altitude, then glide. HAM is air-breathing all the way. It's the first operational American hypersonic cruise missile in any service inventory. Launch platforms confirmed: the F-15EX, the B-52H, the B-1B, possibly the F-35 in future blocks. Cost estimate per round about $15 million. Compare that to Dark Eagle, which runs around $40 million per shot, or the Tomahawk at $2 million. HACM is positioned as the medium-cost, high-performance option in the hypersonic ladder. Initial operational capability target, 2027. By 2027, an American fighter jet will carry a missile that can hit a target from outside any country's air defense envelope. And you won't see it coming. Pause here. 6 programs in, 5 hypersonic or near hypersonic, 1 nuclear. Everything you've heard about so far is about going faster or further or stealthier. The last one is none of those things. The last one is about going quieter. 7th, the R9X, the missile with no explosive, the flying Jinsu. The AGM-114 Hellfire, in service since 1984, 100 pounds. Semi-active laser-guided. Tank killer primarily, fired by Apache helicopters, Predator drones, Reaper drones, standard American precision air-to-ground for 40 years. Around 2011, under the Obama administration, a new variant was developed, the R9X. The R9X is a Hellfire without a warhead. No explosive, no fragmentation, no detonation, none. In place of the warhead, 6 retractable steel blades, folded against the body in flight. On the final approach, in the last fraction of a second before impact, the blades deploy. 6 knives, extended at roughly 45 degrees on a 100-pound missile traveling at 600 miles an hour. It hits the target. It does not explode, it cuts. Now the kills, the known ones, February 2017. Northern Syria. Ahmad Hassan Abu Khair al-Masri, deputy leader of Al-Qaeda. R9X strike on a moving vehicle. Killed in the passenger seat. The driver got out of the car. January 2019. Yemen. Jamal al-Badawi, the mastermind behind the bombing of the USS Cole in 2000. R9X on a pickup truck. Surgical damage. The truck remained intact enough for forensic analysis. January 2020. Iraq. Qasem Soleimani, commander of Iran's Quds Force, killed at the Baghdad airport. The strike was a mixed Hellfire package. The R9X was reportedly one of the weapons in the loadout. July 31, 2022. Kabul, Afghanistan, 6:18 in the morning. Ayman al-Zawahiri, leader of Al-Qaeda since the death of Osama bin Laden in 2011. Zawahiri stepped out onto the balcony of his house in the Sherpur neighborhood. He was on that balcony every morning. The CIA had watched him for weeks. 2 R9X missiles fired from an MQ-9 Reaper. Both hit Zawahiri on the balcony. He was killed. His wife, his daughter, and his grandchildren were inside the house, 10 meters away. None of them were injured. The house is still standing today. The balcony has been replaced. The Pentagon has never officially confirmed the R9X exists. What we know from the Wall Street Journal investigation in May 2019, from leaked forensic photos out of Yemen and Syria, and from one image of an R9X mounted under the wing of a Reaper, posted by the U.S. Air Force in 2020, removed within hours. Cost per round, according to leaked procurement documents, about $150,000. A standard Hellfire is $25,000 to $100,000. The premium buys you zero collateral. The blade design is reportedly inherited from inert training rounds developed in the 1980s. Someone in the Pentagon looked at a training Hellfire, saw blades and asked, what if we kept the blades and lost the warhead? The R9X is what happens when America decides that killing one specific person without killing their family is worth 6 steel knives, $150,000, and a missile that nobody is allowed to admit exists. 7 programs. 1 Mach 4 demonstrator gone dark, 1,000-unit nuclear fleet being built right now. 1 cruise missile that disappears from the budget, 2 hypersonic platforms in active development, 1 operational hypersonic coming in 2027. And the R9X, the only weapon America designed not to maximize damage, but to minimize it. This is not the complete list. There are more programs, at least 3 more we know about by code name only. Maybe more we don't. The Pentagon's black budget for fiscal year 2024 was $59 billion. Most of what that money buys, you will never hear about. Truth and Steel, subscribe. Next time we go inside America's anti-missile defense. From Nike Zeus to Golden Dome.